Hey guys, I'm here with Kitty and the folks from Working Class Publishing, Bob and Kelly. We're doing the last few shoots for the Dark Pinup book that's coming out at Viva Las Vegas next year. And I've done a couple of these little tutorials for lighting, well, my weird lighting, and I thought this would be a perfect example. I did one in LA recently that was kind of a well-lit house with a big open door and windows. This is the exact opposite. The only lighting we have here to work with is just a couple of lamps and candles, and this is sort of what makes the lighting that I kind of become known for. And I wanted to share just a couple of, this is like, we joked about this earlier, but even with this light here, this just ambient light from another room, in this situation, I'm gonna actually turn this off. So these will go off. And then this is kind of where I've gotten most comfortable. This is also a place where I think most photographers would probably freak out. And it takes years. It takes, you know, like it took me over a decade to kind of get to a point where I was comfortable in this kind of low lighting. But it creates those really, really warm, natural tones. And I'm even going to show you a trick that I use sometimes in situations where it's just too dark and you want to find an interesting way to light things up to get some texture, but you still want it to look like kind of that dark pinup look. So this is a setup that Ellie put together. Just a bunch of stuff we had around the house, but like in this situation, we're just making a set just like you would make for a movie, and it's perfect. It works really well. The only thing we have lighting here is this brass lamp and a candle, a couple of candles, and Kitty's down underneath here on the floor. So when I'm shooting this, the first thing I'll do is I'll take like my regular light test readings, and in a situation like this, you're going to be really slow. Your shutter speed's going to be, well, let's see what mine's at. My shutter speed is at a 50th of a second, which means she cannot move hardly at all. A lot of times when I work with models that have a lot of experience, they hear the camera, they'll hear the shutter click, and they immediately move to the next pose. And I always have to spend the first few minutes asking the model to not do that, because I usually need 3 or 4 shots to make sure I have something sharp and in focus, because of just movement, not just the model but myself. It's worth it though. I mean, if you're going for shots that look different than the way most photographers shoot, it's worth the trouble. Another thing is you're gonna have to get into some higher ISOs, and you know, obviously the higher ISO, the more grain you're gonna get. But that's one of the reasons I shoot with a Nikon. I have a Nikon D750. In my opinion, Nikon tends to handle low light better than Canon and other brands. So for my particular style of photography, Nikon just seems to fit better for what I do. But in this case, just like I said in that video in LA, you know, I did that little example where the door opened up to lift more light onto the model's face. It's sort of the same thing here. What dictates this shot is the light. So whereas most photographers would be bringing the light to the model, I kind of do the exact opposite. I bring the model to where the light is. So when I get Kitty like underneath these lights here, you can see like it starts to warm up her skin and glow a little bit. And like for say maybe the side of her face needs to be lit more, I would actually move like a candle, and then I would have her just turn a little bit. Okay, just turn a little bit more that way. And that's how I would make that photo. I would just be moving my light sources as limited as they might be to where I need to make the picture. Hold on one second. Now, on this shot, which is, you know, you can even see this is a beautiful shot. There's moments where the other side of the face might be a little darker than I want. Or it might just be flat. Like there's kind of only one color or tone coming out here. And this is a trick I do, and I don't tell most people I do this trick, but because it's kind of cheating, but it's really cool. I'll have somebody that's like anyone that can assist with the shoot, I'll just turn on an iPhone or like an Android phone with a flashlight and just use it to bounce a little bit of light. If you can kind of hit her like on the cheekbone, but bring it back a little bit farther. Move it this way.
Probably rotate this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That way you
perfect.
don't get the
So now you
shadow
look
cast.
back at this candle. Okay, This is exactly where I love to be. You have two light sources, and when I was in college, they used to like tell us all the time, don't do that. They're like, don't mix light sources, and that's pretty much what I've built my whole career on. But you have this warm candlelight and the incandescent bulb up here just hitting her on the face and like making her skin this beautiful caramel color. And on this side of her face, you have the kind of harsher iPhone light. But the thing is, at least on my camera, I don't know if this is a Nikon thing, it doesn't show up that way. On my phone, this blue light kind of tends to show up as a green, like a greenish color. And the red, like the reds and the yellows and the greens just look so cool together. I'm gonna take a couple shots here and show you on the camera how that looks. Look down here. Perfect, don't move. Bring it a little closer to her chin, or her cheekbone. There you go, hold it. Oh, that looks so good. Hold it. A little closer. That's another thing about my photography when I work with makeup artists. I always have them really exaggerate the highlighter on the cheekbone because it needs to pick up more light, which you did a great job.
I didn't put any highlighter.
Really? That's just your skin?
I did it because of photography. Every other photographer I've worked with just
They don't like it?
They told me not to do highlighter.
You have it's very shiny on that part of your face. What are you using? Like for your makeup?
I think that's just NARS sheer foundation, like the lightest coverage I could find.
Yeah, well NARS ends up like they have a lot of shimmery stuff in just a regular makeup.
I'm using their matte one.
Okay, yeah, because actually my favorite highlighter of all times is Albatross,
Really?
and that has a really strong like greenish gold hue. But again, most photographers just aren't crazy about that kind of highlighter. But because I'm working so limited with the light, we try to bounce as much as we can. But you look great. So. Sometimes I'll even Photoshop that in a little bit, like exaggerate the highlight. Eyes down here. Don't move. A little closer, Charlie. There you go. Don't move. A little closer, Kelly. And kind of bring it more towards her eye. There you go. There we go. Perfect. There you can see like this kind of result of two light sources hitting at the same time. You have these like warm reddish tones, and then up here these like greenish tones that come from the iPhone. They don't really show up blue, they look like greenish. And once you get that in Photoshop, you can actually adjust that even more and bring out a little bit more hue. So, all right, that's it. That's kind of a behind the scenes look at how I make some of these weird pictures. So yeah, Dark Pinup comes out, what did we say, Thursday, April 19th in Las Vegas at the Artisan Hotel. So if any of you can come join us there, that'd be great. Thanks.